I'm Mark Silverthorn. I hope you enjoyed this video. Today we're going to talk about how to get a debt removed from your credit report. I routinely receive phone calls from individuals claiming that they have an account appearing on their credit report that should not be there. I am often asked for advice on number one, when should an item be removed from your credit report? And two, how can you get an item removed from your credit report that should not be there? In Canada, we have two credit reporting agencies, Equifax Canada and TransUnion. Your account may appear on your credit report at one or both of these credit reporting agencies. It is important to understand that these credit reporting agencies are for-profit entities regulated by provincial governments. It is helpful to understand credit reporting agencies if you think of a diner. In our diner analogy, your server is either your creditor or your creditor's collection agency. The short order cook at the diner is your credit reporting agency. At a diner, the short order cook is only going to prepare the meal requested by your server. Similarly, a credit reporting agency is only going to list an item on your credit report based upon information provided by either your creditor or your creditor's collection agency. If your goal is to have an item removed from your credit report, then it is incredibly helpful to know how long an account can legally appear on your credit report. And there are two different scenarios. One for Ontario residents and one for those Canadians living outside of Ontario. So let's deal with those individuals living outside of Ontario. If you are a Canadian living outside of Ontario, then an unpaid account can show up on your credit report for 6 years from the date of your last payment, after which time it legally must be removed from your credit report. For Ontario residents, an unpaid account can legally appear on your credit report for 7 years after the date of your last payment. Now, Equifax Canada has a policy for all Canadians that an item will be removed from your credit report 6 years from the date of your last payment, and that includes Ontario residents. If your account has been listed with TransUnion and you are an Ontario resident, then your account can legally appear on your TransUnion credit report for 7 years after the date of your last payment. There are basically three different scenarios when it comes to your credit report and whether or not an item can legally appear on it. The first scenario I'll refer to as nothing untoward. In many instances, an item can legally appear on your credit report because sufficient time has not gone by so that it must be removed from your credit report. And in those circumstances, the item can legally appear on your credit report. The second scenario I will refer to as honest mistake. There are circumstances where an item will show up on your credit report and it should not be there. They may have the wrong person, or due to some kind of a clerical error or programming error, the item should be removed because sufficient time has expired so that the item can no longer legally appear on your credit report. The third scenario involves misconduct on the part of either your creditor or your creditor's collection agent. In this scenario, your creditor or creditor's collection agency engages in some type of illegal behavior so that your account appears on a credit report after it should have been removed from your credit report. The reason why these unethical creditors or unethical collection agencies engage in this behavior is to obtain leverage over you, the consumer. And I'll give you an example. If an item shows up on your credit report and you apply for credit, then your prospective lender will probably inform you that until this item is paid or settled or resolved, that they will not consider providing you with credit or a loan. In this circumstance, you are put in a position where if you want to obtain credit, then you are forced to either pay this unpaid account or settle it. For the remainder of this video, we're going to be talking about how to get an item removed from your credit report. And we are going to assume that the account should not be on your credit report because sufficient time has elapsed so that it no longer legally can appear on your credit report. This process typically involves two stages. Step one is confirming the date of your last payment. And step two is making a written demand to both your creditor and the credit reporting agency to have the item removed from your credit report. Let's deal with confirming the date of your last payment. There are two ways that you can confirm the date of your last payment. You can go on your creditor's website and find their main phone number and call them, identify yourself, and ask them to provide you with the date of your last payment. If your account is owned by a debt buyer, then it is your original creditor that you will be contacting to make this request for the date of your last payment. And your original creditor is the firm that provided you with goods, services, or credit. Another way that you can find out what is the date of your last payment is that under privacy laws in Canada, you can make a formal written request for this information and send your letter to the Chief Privacy Officer at the relevant creditor. Once you have confirmed the date of your last payment and that your account should no longer appear on your credit report, then it is time to make a written demand to have the account removed from the relevant credit report. And depending upon the circumstances, you may be making this written demand to either one or both of Canada's credit reporting agencies. Your written demand should include the following information: your name, the account number, the date of your last payment, evidence with respect to the date of your last payment, and a demand to have your account removed from your credit report immediately. As well, you will be indicating the consequences for failure to do so, and this will include a formal written complaint to the provincial body regulating credit reporting agencies in your province. It will also include a lawsuit for defamation. In the event that this action does not result in the results that you are seeking, then you have recourse. You can make a formal written complaint to the provincial body in your province regulating credit reporting agencies, in which you indicate that there is an item that ought to be removed from your credit report that has not been removed. Secondly, you can hire a lawyer to send a letter to both your creditor and the relevant credit reporting agency indicating that if the account is not removed from your credit report by a certain date, that their instructions are to commence a lawsuit for defamation against them. I trust that this information regarding how to remove an item from your credit report has been helpful. Thank you. Hi, I'm Mark from Debt Coach Silverthorn, and we'd like to get your feedback in terms of what some of our future YouTube topics should be. Draw from your pain and your own experience and let us know. For example, how to stop collection calls, or the top 10 tactics for protecting your assets and income from your creditors. But please let us know what kind of topics you would like us to cover in some of our upcoming YouTube videos. Thanks.